Britain has a big problem. Only the Americans are getting fatter than we are, faster than we are. You're 18 stone 9.
What?
Just under 19 stone.
Wow.
Though obsessed with our waistlines, for some, huge weight gain is a complete mystery.
I don't think I eat enough to warrant this size.
I've got friends who eat same as me and they're like matchsticks.
I don't think it's fair that I am the weight I am for what I eat.
But how many of us are in denial about what we eat?
Hi, can I place an order, please?
And hide the extent of our scoffing from our families and ourselves. Are we a nation of secret eaters? It's time for a big, fat reality check. Using secret cameras and private investigators,
OK, they're on the move.
we're going undercover across the UK to find out what Brits are really putting away. And we'll be laying traps to prove just how easy it is for all of us to succumb to secret eating.
Hello, fancy a hot dog?
Yes, why not?
Will what we uncover in our surveillance
Oh my God.
hold the answers?
I feel a bit sick.
Because if you want to lose weight, you really need to know the truth about how you're putting it on.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, I am so hungry!
It's hideous, absolutely hideous.
I've come to Leicester to meet a couple who have no idea why they're getting fatter. 31-year-old Hetal Vigad and her boyfriend, 28-year-old Mitul Ladva, who both work at a call centre, live together during the week at Hetal's family home. They're both convinced they eat healthily and are baffled by their bulges.
I think my knowledge about food is better than most. I'm doing what I think is right in terms of food choices. Can I have some lemons, please? As opposed to your weight staying constant or dropping, it's actually slowly increasing. It's not making sense.
It does seem unfair. It is upsetting as well, especially because the people around me are eating what I'm eating. Yet they're a size 0 and I just seem to be putting it all on for them. I'm not one of the worst eaters out there. Most of the time I'm good.
Could Hetal and Mitul be eating more than they think they are? I've come to try and help them solve the curious case of their widening waistlines.
Hello. Hi.
Are you Hetal? So how come the weight has crept on for you?
I don't know, I really don't. It's just
Seriously?
It's been up and down for years. It'll just creep back up. And, you know, I'm just put on another 4 or 5 stones from somewhere.
Do you know how much you weigh?
Last time I checked, it was 13.5. I don't get on the scales. I'm so scared.
And you think it's gone up?
Yeah, definitely. I can see it.
Keen cook Mitul also believes he's not overeating, so is puzzled by his weight, which, last time he checked, had crept up to just shy of 19 stone. Have you always been this kind of size?
I've always been big boned. When it comes to my size, I've always been quite broad. My friends like to call me a chunky monkey.
Oh, really? What, from when you were a kid?
Yeah.
So what kind of food do you eat? What do you like?
I do like my Indian cuisine.
Yeah.
I do like to try different cuisines as well.
From what I understand about traditional Indian food, it is quite heavy with the ghee and with the oil, isn't it?
We never use ghee at all. It's always sunflower oil.
Right.
Or if I'm cooking, it's olive oil.
OK. Why do you use olive oil rather than sunflower oil?
It's healthier.
Are you using a lot of vegetables?
Yeah, all vegetables tend to steam
OK.
as opposed to boiling.
And lean meats?
Lean meat's always lean.
So, I mean, a little bit of a mystery going on here because it's sort of, you know, you both enjoy your food, you're admitting that, but you are super conscious of your food. It's not as if you're eating rubbish all the time. Mm. It's a bit like, well, hang on, how have we got to this? So, unfortunately, it's that time that all dieters loathe and despise, where we have to get the scales out and put you on. Who's going to go first?
Ladies first.
So you reckon you're 13 and a half?
Yes.
On you get. $14.2. Are you all right?
Yeah.
Come here. I recognise those. I recognise those dieters' tears. Honestly, I get it. Next up, it's Mitul. You're 19.11. So you've put on nearly a stone. Why have both Hetal and Mitul put on so much weight? They desperately want to know where they're going wrong. So they've agreed to let us monitor their mouthfuls. You know that you're being watched 24/7. I need you to eat normally. Fantastic. We'll be putting them under surveillance for 5 days to get a true picture of what they really eat.
What are we making?
Garlic mushrooms.
With our cameras rolling and 2 top private investigators, Cameron Gowlett and Duncan Mee, poised to track them wherever they go, we'll see if Hetal and Mitul are secret eaters. See you later. It doesn't take long for our mystified munchers to give the surveillance cameras something to focus on. Mitul is preparing some food. Big pile of mushrooms, tons of garlic. Are Hetal and Mitul hiding the truth about what they eat from each other and themselves? To get an idea of what they think they eat, we asked them both to complete a food diary for a week. Mitul recorded eating around 2,000 calories a day, with plenty of home cooking and protein shakes for breakfast. While Hetal's food diary logged around 1,000 calories a day and featured salads for lunch and healthy-sounding foods like chicken noodles for supper. Will our surveillance tally with their diaries, or will we discover discrepancies between what they believe they eat and what they actually eat? It's the first night of monitoring, and Mitul is making supper under the watchful eye of our cameras. On the menu tonight, along with garlic mushrooms, it's grilled turkey drumsticks. All being gobbled down with big helpings of healthy raw spinach for each of them. Supper over, it's time for a trip to the supermarket, with our private investigators in hot pursuit.
Yep, he's away.
If Hetal and Mitul do any sneaky snacking in the shop, our secret cameras will catch them. So far, so good. But on the way out, we spot something. What's that in Mitul's mouth? It's a large chocolate cookie containing over 250 calories. The food on display in the supermarket has got his taste buds going, and he's succumbed to a sweet treat. But he's not the only one. To show what questionable food choices we're all capable of, we've placed temptation in some unlikely locations. And today, we're making mischief in an office. 65% of us snack at least once a day at work, so resisting an office treat is quite a test of willpower. We've installed hidden cameras so we can film a boss treating his team to a big jar of sweets at our request. But what only the boss knows is that the last layer of sweets is stuck to the bottom of the jar. How hard will the office chocky chompers keep trying to get their sugar hit? And who'll be the first to spot it's all a sticky setup? Not this guy. His visit's short, but sweet. This chap gives the jar a good old shake, but doesn't spot our sugar fix. He's back, the cheeky double-dipping bounty hunter. For a while, it's sweet FA. Then comes another fan of the booty shaking technique, but our sticky situation remains under wraps. A new sweet talker in the mix. And another. Everything's coming up roses in this office today. More than half have had a dip. An hour in, and still no one's got to the bottom of the jar, or the joke. Are this guy's sweet dreams about to come unstuck? We'll be back later to find out. 4 in 10 people medically classified as obese think they have a healthy lifestyle. And Hetal Vigad and her boyfriend Mitul Ladva are no exception. They believe they eat perfectly healthy food and can't understand where their extra weight is coming from. So they plumped to go under round-the-clock surveillance for 5 days and had private investigators track their every move.
A multi-pack of cornettos.
Do they eat more than they realise? Hetal and Mitul now think their time of being watched is over. As far as they're concerned, they're on their way to meet our dietitian for a chat at this London cafe. This is not strictly the case. Sorry, you two, but this innocent-looking eatery is in fact a set that's been rigged with cameras. Even the customers are actors who are in on the sting. Mitul and Hetal are still under the impression that theirs is a normal, healthy diet and their weight gain a mystery. But that's about to change. Concealed behind a wall in the cafe is our incident room, containing every last scrap of evidence of what we saw them eating. An unsuspecting Hetal and Mitul arrive at the cafe and settle in for a quiet cup of tea.
Hetal and Mitul are on the other side of our fake wall here in our fake cafe. They've got absolutely no idea what is about to happen.
Whoa. Surprise! Hello, you two. Welcome to your very own Secret Eaters incident room. Come on in. Come and take a look. Mitul, this is a mere snapshot of what we caught you eating over the last week. You all right?
It's in shock.
Hetal, this is your side. Not much better, I have to say. We also had you trailed. So everywhere you've been, we've been watching. Shopping, a little bit of sneaky crisp eating going on there. I've never seen two people more silent.
I'm mortified.
Are you?
Yeah. No.
Wait till we show you what we got on camera. First up for scrutiny, it's Mitul, who weighs 19 stone 11.
We never use ghee at all. It's always sunflower oil.
Right.
Or if I'm cooking, it's olive oil.
OK. Why do you use olive oil rather than sunflower oil?
It's healthier.
The last time we met, you were very clear about your health knowledge in a way, and you were saying, I'm absolutely on top of the fact that I like to eat healthy fat. There is a question mark over what you are using and the fact that you think it's healthy.
Yeah.
Let's just take a look at this. It's Saturday afternoon and Mitul's in the kitchen cooking up one of his classics, lamb moussaka. A key component of which is his cheese sauce. Made with a whole block of cheese. And just a smidge of butter. What is that?
Butter.
Mitul, is that like a knob of butter?
Yeah.
With the layers of lamb, aubergine and potato in place, Mitul pours on his cheese sauce.
That is a lot of cheese sauce. I think a bit too much.
And keeps pouring and pouring. In the end, over a litre of cheese sauce goes onto the moussaka. And to top it all off, more cheese. The next day, Mittel's back in the kitchen, preparing the Sunday roast. Will he forego the fat this time? Fat chance. First, he covers the pork joint with oil. And then he uses more to cook his roast potatoes.
That's a lot of oil.
There must be about an inch of oil in there.
Easily, yeah.
They did taste nice, Anna.
Mittel then pimps his parsnips and caramelises his carrots to finish off the weekend fat stravaganza.
I'm absolutely shocked. It's just... Seeing it is totally different. Looking at it, yeah, it looks disgusting.
You had a pack of butter on the end of a knife. Let me introduce you to Lynn Garton, who is our expert dietitian, who's going to be telling you both a thing or two about your diet and your eating habits. Is Mittel right to think that there are healthy fats over unhealthy fats and that this actually affects weight?
All fats, whether they're from healthy or unhealthy food sources, still contain calories. So for every tablespoon of oil that you're adding to your food, you're adding around about 100 calories.
But the bad news on Mittel's high-fat cooking doesn't stop there.
Would it surprise you to hear that just in the cheese sauce alone, there were around 2,000 calories? And that is the same number of calories as not just one pizza, but 2 pizzas, just in the cheese sauce.
You've just created a cheese sauce to go on top of your healthy moussaka with 2,000 calories in it.
Honestly, I had no idea it was that bad.
2 whole pizzas for just the cheese sauce is shocking.
I don't think I'll be having lamb moussaka again. If I am, it's going to be with next to no cheese sauce on it whatsoever.
I could have been eating the pizza all this time.
Let's move on to Hetal.
I'm not one of the worst eaters out there. Most of the time I'm good.
But is Hetal right to think she has a pretty normal, healthy diet? Or does she, in fact, consume way more calories than she thinks?
I love it. I love that.
Let's take a look. It's Friday night and she's in the mood for a hot Italian.
What I'm saying is that I don't buy pizza because I know I can't stop eating it. Hi, can I place an order, please? Can I have a small pizza and then fries with chili sauce and mayonnaise, and that's it.
There are our private detectives following you.
There.
Look at this. Got them.
Mmm, saucy. It's a junk food jamboree. Look out, Mittel. That's amore.
I actually feel stuffed.
The next morning, Hetal's in-house master chef is preparing a special blended breakfast for them both. It's a health shake filled with good stuff like milk and oats. And more good stuff like peanut butter, chocolate spread, and honey. Just the thing to get Hetal's day off to a shaky start. A few hours later, she's at the supermarket with Mittel, on the hunt for food again. But why wait till you get home to eat? Our PIs are on the tail of our perplexed pair, and they've spotted something fishy going on.
Now, I mean, we're not experts, but this doesn't look very good.
about any of that or any of this is healthy.
I do struggle around him.
Is that fair, Mitul, or do you reckon she's just trying to blame you for it?
She's just trying to blame me. That's what all women do anyway.
That night you had the pizza, the fatty chips, the mayonnaise. That meal came to around 1,900 calories.
Wow.
The pizza and chips meal wasn't the only calorific calamity that Hetal indulged in while she was under surveillance. 4 times we caught her eating meals containing over 1,000 calories. And we saw her making the wrong choices when she was trying to be healthy, like when she joined Mitul in drinking his protein shake for breakfast. We asked Lynn to analyse a similar one.
So what's in this protein shake? It's got skimmed milk, which is great to see. It's low fat. We've then got peanut butter. Peanuts on their own are healthy food, but they also contain a lot of fat. And the other thing with peanut butter is extra oil is added to make the peanut butter, which is all going to add to the calories. We've then got a hazelnut chocolate spread. The main ingredients are fat and sugar, with hazelnuts only providing about 13%. This is protein powder here, which is just adding calories. We've then got some honey here. Honey still contains calories. Honey is a sugar. Finally, we've got the oats, and actually probably one of the healthiest foods here, but there's not enough of this special fibre in this small amount. In total, it's coming out at around 675 calories.
You know, with the health shake, I did even question Mitul, saying, you know, do we need this Nutella and peanut butter in there? And to me, it didn't make sense of how that was healthy. But yeah, it was a shock. It was over 600 calories. That is a lot.
While we had Hetal under surveillance, we never once saw her eat or prepare a meal on her own. She's a classic confused calorista, relying on others to prepare food for her, but lacking the nutrition knowledge to make the right choices from what's on offer. If you're making the wrong choices in your food, read the nutrition information on packets. If you're confused by the full table of figures, check only the calorie count and use that as the basis for your decisions. And remember to eat plenty of healthy fruit and vegetables. Overeating is something that all of us do from time to time, but why? With the help of chartered psychologist Dr. David Lewis, we're staging an experiment to see whether, when it comes to food, out of sight means out of mind. We've invited 2 groups of student friends to join us for a delicious Sunday roast with all the trimmings.
What we're going to do is we're going to have the food brought down here and just get you guys to weight yourselves, OK?
They think we're filming them for a study into social interaction, but we're actually only interested in measuring what they eat and how much they take their cue from what is and isn't in front of them on the table.
What we're going to be talking about in this particular study is what we call food cues.
OK,
So
what are food cues?
Well, a food cue is something which triggers your brain to want to eat. So it could be, for example, a fast food logo. It could be a picture of food. It could be the smell of food. And, of course, the prime cue is food itself.
Our experiment will compare how the 2 groups behave when making the choice whether or not to have second helpings. Both will have exactly the same amount of food available to them for the duration of the meal, and will be invited to help themselves to more as many times as they like. But one group will be faced with a food cue, while the other group won't. In the first room, upstairs, the serving dishes will be left out on the table in front of the hungry students. And in the second room, downstairs, the dishes will be kept out of sight in a separate area.
All right, guys, dinner is served. Just have to ask that we leave the food down there, please.
what we would expect to find is that the group where the food is within easy reach and constantly in their sight, they will eat more than the group where they have to get up from the table, they'll have to go down the stairs, and they'll have to fill up the plate.
Effort.
And so we're putting that kind of extra barrier.
This should be an interesting one. Which group will eat the most of the roast? We'll be back later to find out. When it comes to weight gain, if you don't know how you're putting it on, you won't know how to lose it. Which is why we've been in Leicester with couple Hetal and Mitul to spy on everything they're eating and help them crack the conundrum of their curves. With surveillance over and every informant quizzed...
So they went out last night?
Yes,
and
they
you
did.
went with them?
Yes, yeah, it was an eventful night.
It's time for Mitul to step into the spotlight again for a second helping of eating evidence. Mitul, it's fair to say that you love to cook. Is it fair to say that you guys also sit down and you enjoy that meal once you've cooked it?
Yeah.
So there's not really any need to snack necessarily in between?
No.
So you'll cook, sit down, eat your food, job's a good one. Or is it? Over our surveillance period, we watched Mitul in the kitchen and noticed that even while he was preparing meals, a great deal of food was finding its way into his mouth. This is a man who wants to discard the lard, but we caught him tucking into a biscuit, some cheese, a bit of mince, and then a bit more. Some crisps, more crisps, and even more crisps. With the Sunday roast in the oven, we caught him munching a potato. A healthy carrot. And still not stuffed, a small plate of stuffing.
How is that?
Yeah.
Closely followed by a 250-calorie cookie.
Oh, cookie.
Those cookies.
Before moving on to the meat. It's endless. And some very crunchy-looking crackling. Go on. You might as well.
Shocking.
And it's funny watching you because it's like, this is total news to you, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm watching it on the screen. It's like, oh, that's not me.
What does all of that picking actually mean for Mitul?
Well, over the course of the filming, you got through 670 calories a day. In a week, that's the same number of calories as these 35 chocolate eclairs, just from your picking, snacking and licking.
That's in a week?
In a week.
So before I've had my meal, I've had a meal.
Yeah, exactly. So you're doubling up on everything.
You don't think it would amount to that much. That's the most shocking thing so far.
Mitul is a classic mindless muncher. He'll eat anything in front of him without thinking whether or not he really wants it. If you're like this, stop buying salty or sugary snacks. It's much easier to avoid temptation if it's not there in the first place. And eat high-fibre foods to keep you feeling full between meals. Earlier on, we set up an experiment to find out if, when food is out of sight, then is it out of mind? And if it's kept in front of you, tempting you with its look and smell, does it act as a food cue, a trigger for your appetite, so you end up eating more? So we have two groups of friends who are each enjoying the same roast dinner. There is plenty of food there, more in fact for seconds if they want it. The key difference is this group of friends has the meal set out in front of them on the table, whereas this group of friends has to make the effort to travel to a nearby kitchen in order to get more food. So the question is, will this group here, who has the food in front of them, eat more? I'm with psychologist Dr. David Lewis, keeping a close eye on both groups as they munch their lunch.
Well, he's got vast amounts of chicken.
In the upstairs room, where we're testing the response of our eager eaters to an appetite cue, everyone's happily tucking into the food that's been left in front of them.
This is the way most families will eat. I put all the food on the table in front of them, easy reach, you can see it constantly, it's right in their gaze. These people have been, as you see now, he's actually...
He's really picking out on those potatoes, isn't he?
Yes, and he's actually eating them with his hands.
So it's almost like snacking on top of his main meal,
Absolutely.
isn't it? It's just there.
He's not touching his plate now, he's reaching out and grabbing the food and putting it straight into his mouth.
Meanwhile, in the downstairs room, where our cameras are trained on the separate area where the serving dishes are sitting away from the table, there's no sign of a similar feeding frenzy.
Nobody's come out at all from that. And so there's a big difference in the way they're actually eating.
Oh, hang on.
Yes,
somebody's back.
And now he's left the table, she's left the table.
As well.
So at least we know they're still there.
With our gang of guzzlers finally full, it's time for the scientists to weigh all the leftovers and work out whether the food left within easy reach on the table in the upstairs room has acted as a cue for that group to eat more, and whether the diners downstairs have proved that out of sight really does mean out of mind when it comes to how much you eat.
This is the upstairs group.
Yeah.
And this is the downstairs group.
Of course, because they've left more.
The downstairs group, they actually ate 4,585 calories as a group.
Right.
So that translates to about 917 calories per person. But if we move to the group, which has clearly eaten a lot more, they ate a total of nearly 6,000 calories between them, which is nearly 1,200 calories per person. 30% more. Just by having the food in front of them, they added a third to their calories.
Surprise! It's time to tell the truth to our stuffed students. We asked you guys to come and enjoy a roast dinner on us, but you were actually taking part in a secret eaters eating experiment. Put your hands up who was sitting up here with the food in front of you, the big spread. You lot.
Right. Now, if I may pick on you, we were very intrigued when we were watching you on the secret cameras. So you kind of, having finished your meal, you kind of snacked.
I'm kind of tempted to go for it now.
You guys ate 30% more than these guys. That's a vast amount in just one meal.
Yeah.
So if you want to lose weight and eat less, place food out of sight to keep it out of mind. And always plate up in the kitchen.
I don't know how they managed to eat like a third more than us, because I was stuffed on what I had eaten already.
I ate far more than I needed because it was right there and it was so easy and it all looked so good.
Back at the cafe, it's time for Hetal to face more truths about her eating. Does she pay attention to the out of sight, out of mind rule? Or does she, like Mitul, indulge in the odd naughty nibble? Mitul tends to give you stuff to taste when he's cooking. And, you know, I wonder if this is contributing to your weight gain as well, Hetal. What do you think?
I wouldn't say as much, though, because it's only a spoon here and there.
How many spoons?
Should we have a look, Hetal? Mitul is a generous soul. He likes to make Hetal happy by feeding her. And she likes to accept what he offers. Sometimes she'll take a lick from a spoon. Sometimes she'll take a treat popped directly into her mouth.
I'll just have it.
Cheese was too hot, though.
Amazing, isn't it?
And sometimes she'll just give in to the temptation of Mitul's leftovers.
Yeah, these ones too hot. I'll take it.
I love it.
How many calories is Hetal taking in with the snacking?
It's not as bad as Mitul's, but around 220 calories a day, which is about roughly a chocolate bar.
And that's just in Mitul going, try this, taste that. And you're standing there and very compliantly just taking it.
If you gave me a bar of chocolate, I would never eat that because it's 220 calories just for a bar of chocolate. So it was a shock to see just how much, you know, a spoon here or there can add up to.
Now all the evidence has been presented to Hetal and Mitul, it's time for them to learn what the difference is between what they think they eat and what they actually eat. In terms of Hetal, Lynn, what have you got to say?
Your food diary, before we filmed you, you said you were eating around about 1,000 calories. But during filming, you were actually eating around 3,900 calories a day. You were eating for 2.
That's a ridiculous amount. Shocking.
Mitul, you said you were eating around about 2,000 calories a day, but during filming, you were actually eating 4,700 calories a day. Again, twice as much.
Double. Close to double.
You're both eating double the amount you should be, which is why you're double the size you should be.
Yeah.
So, Hetal, given what we've discussed today, are you a secret eater?
Definitely.
Mitul, given the evidence that we've come up with today, are you a secret eater?
Guilty as charged. So I think this is where the frustration ends now, and it's a new beginning. What I've seen today and what I've learnt today will definitely 110% change my relationship with food and how I perceive it.
I think this is a reality check that we both needed to help each other and, more importantly, help ourselves.
Now Hetal and Mitul have seen the extent of their secret eating, they've agreed to follow a healthy eating plan. Mitul's new diet will see him dropping his calorie consumption to around 2,500 per day. He'll reduce the use of fats in his cooking and avoid eating unhealthy snacks. And he'll stop making the calorie-packed protein shakes for himself and Hetal. They'll both be having whole grain breakfast cereals instead. Hetal will now be sticking to a diet of around 1,800 calories a day. She'll plan her meals in advance, cut back on takeaways, and stop being Mitul's taster in the kitchen. These simple changes should turn the tide and kickstart a new, slimmer future for them both. Today we're making mischief in an office where we've fixed up hidden cameras and asked a boss to play a prank on his staff. He's put out a big jar of sweets and is waiting to see what'll happen when his candy-loving colleagues realise the last layer is stuck to the bottom. The sugar rush is underway, with Mr. Stripes and our man in grey both revelling in the jar of joy today. Still, our sweet surprise stays undiscovered. Who will get to the bottom of it? Here comes Mr. Stripes again. Go on, just one more. But oh, he's having to grapple. Get your sticky mitts on those stuck-down treats. Keep trying. No? Sweet nothings for you, sir. But Mr. Stripes is no flake and knows something's jarring. He hits the sweet spot on the sticky bottom layer, but prizes one last clue from the glue and blows the candy whistle on our sneaky sugar fix. This beaming boss's stick-up has well and truly kept his colleagues sweet. 5 weeks ago, Hetal and Mitul told us they were mystified by their weight gain. So how come the weight has crept on for you?
I don't know, I really don't.
I think my knowledge about food is better than most. I think I'm doing what I think is right in terms of food choices.
So we put them under surveillance.
Look at this. Got them.
Surprise! And then revealed the truth. You had a pack of butter on the end of a knife. of what we saw them really eat. How are this calorie-confused couple doing now? Mittel's still doing most of the cooking, but he's broken his big, fat habit.
I've cut a lot of the fats out of my diet. I'm not using oils or butters or nothing like that.
The cheese sauce is gone. I never want to see that cheese sauce again. That's well and truly gone.
With scale?
We measure everything now. For Christmas, he bought me some weighing scales, which is, it's nice, the thought's there.
The final weigh-in is still to come. But remember, it's not just Hetal and Mitul's secret eating we've been spying on. We've had cameras trained on the British public at places we're all likely to exceed the feed limit. It's time to excess all areas in Glutton Nation. We've planted hidden cameras at a speed dating event, where up for grabs tonight are some single men, some single women, and lots of finger food. How much will anyone eat when everyone's trying to be seductive? Right from the start, there's one man attracting a lot of attention.
Maybe we should stick together tonight.
The waiter's patter may be bad, but his platter's providing a welcome distraction for the nervous daters doing their best to tempt each other's appetites whilst playing it cool with the canapes. No one wants to look greedy when on the lookout for love. But what's going on at the bar, where people think they can't be seen? There's some wanton behaviour from this woman, who goes in twice, then realises she's been rumbled. Check out this mystery man. There's one prawn every minute in his corner of the bar. But fair enough, these events are all about sampling the goodies. Another mysterious muncher here. She's got a speed dating technique sorted. Go for something tasty looking. Give it a second chance. Try an alternative. Then double check whether that first option wasn't more attractive. If what's on offer at the bar doesn't appeal, never mind, there's still something delicious circulating in the room.
Oh, you really fancy that, isn't it? It's really good.
Late night nibble, anyone? Back in Leicester, it's a moment of truth for Hetal and Mitul. Since realising they were secret eaters, they've been following a healthy eating plan. If they've stuck to it, they should each have lost between 5 and 10 pounds. So what impact has it had on the scales? First up, it's Hetal, who weighed 14 stone 2 5 weeks ago.
That is 1 stone and 1 pound.
Amazing.
That's really good, that is.
Can Mitul match Hetal's impressive 15-pound weight loss?
That's £10 for me.
Between them, they've lost nearly 2 stone.
Well done, baby.
This is nice.
That's nice. You can tell straight away that's nice.
See, that's a perfect fit. Gone down a size in jackets, and I've gone down a size in jeans.
To a 12 then. Don't do the proper.
That's a 12.
I don't want to ever look like that or feel like that again. It was definitely the kick that I needed.
It's almost shocking to believe that, you know, I can still eat the foods I enjoy eating and I'm still losing weight. It's a delight.
I feel great. I can't stop smiling, actually.